to take the square root of both sides. All right, so the square root of a square is just going to take that, undo one another, and we're left with plus or minus square root of 5. I'm sorry, 5, because 5 is square root of 25. Why plus or minus? Well, whenever we take the square root, we have to realize there's two numbers that square to become 25. 5 times 5, positive 5, times positive 5 is 25, and so also is negative 5 times negative 5. So that's why there's two solutions. X is equal to 5. Well, X we had up here. X is equal to 5. X is equal to negative 5. So the same thing is going to happen, except we're not going to always necessarily have ones. Well, not the example. It's not that easy. We'll have one like this in the work down there. But anyway, we got x squared minus 50 is equal to 0. So in this case, we're no longer using the factoring, so we don't have to worry about having a set equal to 0. We're using the square root property. So we're going to add the 50 to get it from it over here, and it'll be over here as positive 50. We take the square root of the x squared, which is x. We take the square root of 50, which is going to be, and what's in the reason square root of 50, just in case you forgot from last week, 25, I'm sorry, yeah, 25 times 2, square root of 25 is 5. So 5 square roots of 5, negative 5, I'm sorry, 5 square roots of 2, negative 5 square root of 2. Both of those are solutions, and we need that positive, a plus or minus, because that gives us both the solutions, and you can see in this basic case why. All right. Now we don't just do it. We're not going to just limit it to when we have a plain old x squared. If we have a binomial that's squared, then we can do the same thing, because there's parentheses around that x minus 5, and that whole thing is squared. Taking the square root of that will also work. And then it'll give us a couple little extra steps in there. All right, and this is going to be very useful for people that go on to take Math 130, because this is something that they do. You can use there to help you with these things called conic sections if you're taking Math 130, if you're planning on going to get a bachelor's degree after you leave Delgado. But anyway, I know that not everybody's in here is doing that. Probably most people are just going on to 120. So I'm just saying is that that's what this is part of a kind of a larger perspective of it, and you're only seeing this small bit. So now, again, we got to have the square on one side and the number that it's equal to on the other side, a number. So they're both isolated. So what we're going to do is add 9 to counteract the negative 9. So on the right side, it's positive 9. So when we take the square root of x minus 5 squared, well, x minus 5 just pops out. Square root of 9 is plus or minus 3, because 3 positive squared is 9, and negative 3 times negative 3, or negative 3 squared, is 9. So it's, and then we're going to have one more step. We're going to plus 5 here to get rid of it, and on this side we put it, so it's gone from the left, added to the right, and it's 5 plus or minus 3, which gives us, this is 5 minus 3 here, 2. And then the other one is 5 plus 3, which is 8. All right, any questions?
Can you just show the problem example again? I just wanted to look at it again.
It's still there, isn't it?
Uh, yeah, that's the solving part. I just wanted to see the solution part. You see where it says example 2? I don't see example 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
just
got
wanted to look at it again.
you. Okay, I got you. I didn't hear you say example. I thought you were looking. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna
We can move on. I just need to look at it again.
All right. So go ahead and get started on the first one. I'll give you a hint on the second one about something that'll make it much easier. They don't show it in either of the examples. But try number one and see if you can come out with a solution. And remember, there should be two solutions.
Okay. So x either equals -7 or +7.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Anything? All right. So what we're going to do is plus 49, because with this method, we want to have the square on one side and the number on the other side. It's not going to work if you don't have that to use this method. And when you put in the plus or minus, it's kind of open to debate. You can put it in here. You know, in the example, they didn't put it in until after. But we're going to have two things that come out because that's equal to 7. All right, any questions about that? Anything? So on this one, plus 40 to both sides, it's gone here. So we're going to have 5x squared is equal to, and it's positive 40. All right, now, so let me just kind of fill you in on a little tidbit information here. They didn't really put this in their examples. There's also another thing we'll see too, that because they just can't give you an example for everything without it being too long. But anyway, one side, in order for this to work, has to be a perfect square. What's on the right hand side really doesn't matter. All right, because, and the problem here is that the 5 is not a perfect square. So what we can do, just like with any other kind of equation, if we do the same thing to both sides, this will kind of fix it. So from there, simplify that down and see if you can figure it out. But that's what you do in that case. Now, if that had been 4x squared, or it had been 4x squared, or 9x squared, or 16x squared, or 25x squared, or any perfect square, you could just take the square root of the whole thing, the whole term. But when it's a 5 like that, it's it's not going to do. It's going to make it more complicated because you're going to have a square root of 5 then. Um, and you can still fix it. I just think it's easier to fix it here.
I've got x is equal to 2 square root of 2.
Right. And not just 2 square root of 2, but also.
This is because it's got the plus and the minus.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, this is an alternate way to solve quadratics. And so, for the most part, you're looking at 2 solutions, and that plus or minus does that for you. When we look at the next section, or the last section, with the quadratic formula, I bet most of you all have seen and heard about it. You've got an automatic plus or minus built in there for you. And see, this is 4 times 2. So inside the square root, so square root of 4 comes out. It's 2, and 2 stays in there. So what this is x is equal to negative 2 square roots of 2 and 2 square roots of 2. Okay. All right. Any questions? All right. With this one, it's just pretty much like the second example. So do this first and give it a whirl. Oops. So what happened to this one?
I think I might have confused myself on this one.
You just got that one extra step down here where you gotta. So once you take the square root, okay, we're all right up to that point. Well, we got to solve for x, so this thing being over here by itself with the x is not good, so we're
Okay,
going to
I
put
did
it
do it
over
right.
here.
Yeah, I got 5.
There's 2 of them. One minus 4 and one plus 4. So that's negative 3 and 5. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you got, when you got a binomial over here, when you're in square, you're going to have that number. You have to use your addition rule to get it out of the left side and put the opposite of it on the right. And then you got 2 things. You got to do the plus or the minus. So that gives you both of the solutions. This one would have been factorable. This one would have been factorable. This would not have been factorable, at least not by normal mind, because it's got a square root in it. So factoring wouldn't do much good, at least not, like I said, if you were some kind of savant, maybe. But I can't think of a way to do it. So then this one was factorable because they're whole numbers. It doesn't have to be whole numbers to be factorable, as long as it comes out to a rational number, in other words, a fraction, which you're going to have those 2 in this next part. All right, so try number 4 then. This is pretty much the same kind of thing as this one. All right, so it's x plus 4 squared is equal to 1. So what happens? You take the square root. Now, square root of 1 is just 1, so and then minus 4. So what do we get? Negative 4 plus or minus, don't forget that. So what are those 2 solutions?
-5 and -3.
X is equal to negative 4 plus 1 or negative 4 minus 1. So this is x is equal to negative 3 And this is -5. Very similar to what we had over here. All right. All right, now, number 5, what happens when we,
-5.
yeah, when we move over,
Yeah.
we got an issue
Function.
with there being a negative value on that right-hand side. And
Okay.
we've got to deal with that. And what we learned in class last Wednesday
Complex numbers.
still applies, yeah.
Okay.
This is going to have what's called a complex solution. Because when you take the square root of that -25, you're going to end up with the I issue. All right, so the negative sign comes out is an I, and the square root of 25 is 5. So, our solutions after we add our 7.
It's either -5i plus 7 or -5i minus 7. I mean, plus 7.
All right. So this is what we call a complex solution. You definitely wouldn't have been able to get this by factoring. And so what they look like separately, I can't remember offhand if they have it's used a plus or minus in my math app. I don't think they do. But this is what the two solutions would be. Okay. Any questions about that one? I don't know why this loading this other board is so slow. Okay, this is for the quadratic. Okay, because I had the didn't have enough room on the worksheet, but it's for the other worksheet, not this one. All right, so try this one. This one should it's going to be similar to this one because it's going to have that 8 in there. So give it a try. All right, what happens on this one? All right, first of all, we gotta take care of the -8 over there because we want these isolated. That's x minus 9. And then we'd already done the square root of 8, so remember that's 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 2. And then we're going to plus 9.
Just to verify, we're going to add the whole numbers, though, right?
Well, yeah, you have to get, that's the only way you can get to them, because
Okay.
you
Just
remember, you're doing the same thing that you're doing by factoring. So if they're whole numbers, or even if they're not whole numbers, as long as they're rational numbers, in other words, you can do it with fractions too. You just, what
okay.
can you do with these? See? I mean, you cannot, simplify that any further.
Hmm.
This cannot be simplified any further. The 7 and the -5i don't go together. So we leave them in that form. But like I said, is the My Math lab is probably going to make you put them in separately, as I remember.
It's supposed to be a -9.
It's negative over here, so we add 9
I know, but I think you changed the signs earlier from the square root.
plus or minus 2 square root of 2. So 9 plus or minus 2 square root of 2. If I made a mistake, I must not be seeing it.
Um,
I added 9 here to get rid of it, and added 9 on this side, so I'm putting it
no,
in
I understand
front.
that. That's what I'm saying. It's before that. You see where you have the square root in the parentheses x minus 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the drawbacks of this drawing thing. If you do it too fast, it doesn't put it in there. See, I just did it again, and then I told you if I see if the
No,
one of the
I only noticed it because I was coming up with a different answer than you, and I'm like,
yeah one of the things is I've tried to warn people about when you write something down wrong. It's very hard to catch your own work because you write it down, you believe it, and even if you see it in somebody else's writing, it's easy to do that too. All right, so that's plus 9. So this is going to be an I. So it's 2I. No, I'm sorry. No, that's right. That's right. The I is not affected. I mean, the radical is not affected. So it's much easier than I was thinking. So negative 9 minus 2 square root of 2 and negative 9 plus a 2 square root of 2. All right, on the last two, I'm going to have to give you probably a little hint to make this go a little bit smoother. All right. What I'm going to do is do this one first. All right. Now, we obviously can't do this with, because the x plus 8 all squared has got a negative 9 over there. So I'm going to plus 9 to both sides. So this is going to be 9 9 is equal to x plus 8 squared. Now, if you're like me, you know, I like to have this on the other side, so I'm just going to turn them around, because once they're equal, you know, you don't, you can just flip the sides if you want to, once you got, because that just means the same thing. Once you got an equal sign there, got two things on each side, it's, you know, just turn it if it were like a mirror kind of thing. So now, let's just do it down here. The square root of that whole thing is going to bring it out. All right. Oops. Square root. So x and then negative 8. So x is equal to negative 8 plus or minus 3. And incidentally, I mean, if you can do it with it like this, I mean, it's going to be the same thing. Like I said, I just work better if I have my this part on the right-hand side, left-hand side, and that over there. So the solutions are x is equal to negative 8 minus 5. X is equal to so this is 13, right? Did I make a mistake? I got too much of the stuff on the. I don't know.
Wait, what did you get?
All right, let me see.
So
So it
it's
was an
either gonna
8
be,
plus 8 in there.
yeah, negative
It's
83,
3, not
negative
5.
8 minus 3, yeah.
Okay. See again, like I said, I was following my handwriting, what I had written. So that's x is, I thought it was
It's either a negative 11
negative
or
11
5.
or negative 3. And just to show you that both of them will work, watch. If you put negative 11 and add 8 to it, you've got 3 negative, right? Negative 3 times negative 3 or negative 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. Just to show you how they both work. Negative 3 plus.
Yeah, that's supposed
I'm
to be
sorry, it's supposed to
5.
be 5. That's supposed to be 5. There we go. So negative 5 plus 8 is positive 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. All right, now let me just kind of give you a hint on this one. I would take this part and move it over here and make it positive. That negative sign right there, by adding this whole thing, is going to put it over there and make it positive. Not the inside. It's not going to be positive. It's still going to be x minus 6 squared. But the other one, yes. The one in front. And then it'll be pretty much like this one. Both sides positive. So give it a try. Four. Okay. So give it a try.
Okay, x equals 4 and 8.
All right, anybody else working? All right, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it around. It makes me feel better. It means the same thing since they're, both sides are equal. So when we take the square root, all right, so this drops out. So what happens? We got plus 6, plus 6. So x is equal to 4 or 8. Look good? So
Yeah.
this would have been factorable. I thought there was one in here. It's probably in the next section. All right. Was that okay?
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right, good. All right. Let's take a little break. If you got any questions. So, negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 49. Once you add them up over 4, that gives you the square root of 49, which is 7. So plus or minus. The plus or minus gets built in there for us because they know about that little issue that we saw in 11.1, which is how you get your two separate solutions. So negative 3 plus 7, I'm sorry, negative 3 minus 7 here over 4, and negative 3 plus 7 over 4. So negative 3 and negative 7 is negative 10 over 4. All that does is simplify down by dividing each by 2 to negative 5 halves. But negative 3 plus 7 is 4, and 4 over 4 is 1. All right, so those are two solutions. So give a try on the first two. Hold on a second. Okay, I just want to make sure which one it was I had over there. I got this one in there. I'll go over there and guide you through it. But give a try on those first couple. You can go as far as you want on those. Those three up at the top are all pretty much already set up for you. In other words, A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 8, C is equal to negative 4. Okay? So give those a try. Okay, so it's negative 8 there, so we got to count for that. So what do we got? That's a crazy 8. All right, so see, it's got the 2 built-in solutions for you. I'm going to go ahead and use this space over here, and then we'll write this other one on. Well, I already got it on the other board. We'll go over there and square root of 16 is 4. The 5 stays in there. Now, we can do something here, or we can kind of do it at some other place, but I'm just going to kind of do it right here. All right, this is a fraction. It's 8 plus or minus 4 square root of 5 divided by 2. Both of these are divided by 2. So, we kind of keep it in the same form we've been dealing with. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. So you can handle it in one whoop there. So that's 4 minus 2 square roots of 5. Oh, you know what? Well, that was right. Okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was doing number 2 when I have it over there, but so that's your 2 solutions right there. You can't combine those because this is whole number and that's square roots. All right. While I'm thinking about it, before we go over to this next one, let me just, as I said, exam will start, like a week from tomorrow. So I wanted to make sure I got this open back up because I see some people, it's hard for me to tell because I've had a couple of the tests and the midterm on Proctor U review so that you could get practice in there. But I got no way of knowing easily whether somebody has not gone through this problem. Because here's the issue right here. You've got to have all that running before you can do the proctored exam. And since the proctored exam is the kind of the last, the proctored final exam is kind of the last springboard, that some of you may need that to get out of here. And you want to make sure you're ready for it. The instructions for it are in here where everything is else out. I'm not hiding anything. All right? You see those right there? It's the same one you can, we're supposed to have done it at midterm. So if you skip that, then of course you didn't see it. But that's there. Basically, what you got to do, you go to Proctor U, create an account. You got to have that account information. You're finished with Proctor U once you create an account. Then you go back to My Math Lab, and when you click on this, well, it's going to let me do it because I'm the teacher. But anyway, but you got to download that app before you run it, or it's not going to open up for you. Okay? And next week is entirely, I have to turn into a different person once the semester ends because I got deadlines for final grades and all that, which will be, next Friday a week. So invariably, I'll have some student, come to me and, can't figure all this out. And at that point, I don't really have the ability or time to be able to go out and get all this worked out, because then you got to work out time for you to make sure you take it. And then what do we do about grades? That's the whole issue, because I got to have them in there. All right. At the very least, maybe what we'll do if that happens. And like I said, is I'm always skeptical about people in here, because I wonder if they're just off doing something else and they've got everything, they're, I can see their name, but I got no idea of knowing if people are paying attention. And I can't really be worried about that when it comes to deadlines, because I got to get them in and I don't have any choice. But that's everything you need is there. Make sure, if you've never gone through the prompt review, to do it. Because like I said, next week, if somebody comes to me, and I said, as I'm wrapping up my deadline, may not even have time to respond to you until after all the grades are in. And I'll have to just tell you the truth. Okay? Not having all that in place is not a good excuse for not taking that exam. It's not an acceptable excuse. All right. So let's go back over here. So for this one, like I said, there's not really enough room, so I put it on the board over here. X squared plus 2x minus 9. Oh, you know what? I got plus 9, so I'll have to fix it. But that's no problem, because this one is actually, just, this is getting recorded, so if you want to come back and look at this, you can see it as plus. See how it's all worked out? And when it's a plus, it ends up with an I in there. But like I said, that's really not the one that was there. So we're going to fix it. Okay. So that's a negative 9. All right. So this is plus 36. But not everything's going to have to be changed here. All right. So that's, since that's a negative 9, it ends up being 4 times 9 positive, which is 36. So this is 40. All right. So I think with 40, there's like only 4 is the only one. Because then there's just 10 and 5 and 2. All right, so this ends up being 4 times 10, which is, and the 4 comes out as a 2. So that's negative 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 10. Same thing here. 2 goes into 2, negative 1 times, into there just once, and in there just once. So it's negative 1 plus or minus square root of 10. Okay, any questions about that one?
No.
All right, so let's go over here and give this one a try. All right, try this one. A is equal to 1, B is equal to 6, and C is equal to negative 7.
I think I have the answers for it.
All right.
I've got -5 and -1.
Okay, let's see. So negative 6 to, so 1, A is 1, B is 6, C is equal to 7. It's negative 7, so let's say. Plus 28 over 2. So now, square root of 64 is 8. So negative 6 minus 8 over 2, which is negative 14. And then this is so 1 and negative 7.
Never mind, because I messed up. I see where I messed up.
Okay.
I squared it the wrong way.
Well, you saw how I messed up that other one just by writing it wrong. And the thing was, I already been through 2 classes like that. But everybody does it. So just now. Okay.
Yeah, I see what I did. I cubed it instead of squaring it. The 64.
Oh, you mean you took the cube root of it? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I messed up.
Yeah. So you come up with a 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So remember, these are all got to be put on the same side. It should be what they are. I'm going to do it in my head, but when I come back. All right. So negative of negative 2. Oh, wait a minute. I ought to do this first. So we got a plus, subtract the 1. So A is equal to 3, B is equal to negative 2, and C is equal to negative 1, just like I said. So that's going to be negative, negative, so that's So that's 4, because negative 2 squared is 4. This is negative times negative, so that's positive 12 over 6. So, except for that one that I messed up, there were no I's over here. I thought there might be one, and there still could be. I just can't remember if there is. Because this one's definitely not, because this is a perfect square of 16. All right, and you can simplify here if you want to, but it might be simpler just to go ahead and do them separately. In other words, you can divide 2 in all 3 of those, but see, if you don't, like I said, if you take 2 out of all 3 of these, you would have 1 plus or minus 2 over 3, and it's going to simplify for you, but you still have to simplify at some point. So there's one of them. All right.
That's okay.
All right. So again, remember, I broke those based upon after I had added 3 to both sides. So take a minute on that one. So see that's what this is based upon. A is equal to 4, B is equal to 2, C is equal to 3. Negative B plus or minus is what gives us our two solutions. All right. So negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A C all over 2A. All right, I do believe we got an I here. I got the signs right, don't I? I recognize this from earlier. So this is going to simplify as negative 4 times 11, because that's the only thing comes out. The negative 4 comes out as a 2i, and the square root of 11 stays in there. All right, so this is going to have fractions in it no matter what. You can see here, these are all divisible by 2. So 2 goes into there once, and into here 4 times. All right, so this ends up being so I'm going to just divide them both by 4. So I have the so there's the real part, and then this is the imaginary part. So the only thing you can do is just separate them. I do believe that's what math wants you to do. Separate them with a comma. Okay? All right, any questions? All right, the last problem. So this one right here, 2x squared minus x is equal to 6. So it was originally all right, so that means then this is 0, and then that's got the negative 6 there. So A is equal to 2, B is equal to negative 1, C is equal to negative 6. Fill in the quadratic formula, just in case you want to see it. There's your quadratic formula. So we're filling in negative 6, let's see, negative 1. So that's negative 1, which is going to be a positive 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. And then negative 4 times negative 6 is 24. Positive times 2 is 48. All over 4, because it's 2 times 2. 1 plus or minus the square root of 49. Or 1 plus or minus the square root of, 1 plus or minus 7, which is the square root of 49. So that's 1 minus 7 over 4, which is negative 6 over 4, negative 3 halves. 1 plus 7 over 4 is 8 over 4, which is equal to 2. All right, there's your two solutions for that. All right, any questions on that?
No.
All right, well, that's the last of the new material. So just remember, you got the chapter 5. Oh, you know what? There's another one. Let me see something. And this is one that I think you're the one that asked about this. Nicole, I must have not put it over here. Let me go and get it from the other class and put it over here. There's one that's got there's one that has a solution sheet. I thought I put it in here, but evidently I didn't, or I didn't press save or something like that. Make sure it went in this time. Okay, there it is. All right, you can't see it there yet, but if you refresh it, it should pop up. So I would highly recommend getting that before we review, because that way you can get your questions answered. And then, like I said, it's because the test is going to fall soon after that. Let's see. I think I have it on Thursday ending. I'm sorry, Wednesday ending. Let me make sure.
On my math lab, I have pretty much all the homework and the practice exams and everything expiring on Wednesday.
Like tomorrow, Wednesday? I mean,
This
day
Wednesday,
after tomorrow.
yeah, the 28th. The only thing that they're showing for the 29th
That
is
sounds about right. The only thing that should be left after that is the final exam review.
yeah. So the only thing after the 28th is the math test number 5 and final exam.
Yeah, I mean, I should. The test was supposed to have been on. I mean, it's changed. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You can still take it on the 29th, but.
Professor Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
you have a moment. I need your help finding a chapter because I'm going over my quiz. Like I'm getting prepared to take my quiz. I do this to help me practice more with
Mm-hmm.
the solutions. And I'm doing the int, the int power. I wrote my objectives down when I was doing all of my assignments, my MyMathLab assignments, but I didn't write the chapter that came from. And so I'm like scrolling through MyMathLab trying to figure out where did that come from. It is radicals, but it's the definition of a one int if n is a positive integer greater than one.
Could you share? And let me see what you're looking at because I can't
I don't know how
visualize that in
I
my
have
head.
like this. Let me see. I'm gonna do the. Hold on, let me open this all the way up. Okay.
Okay, I
Can
made
you see
you
this, Professor Cruz?
share it. See if you can share it on the big screen. Like
Uh,
I gave you permission to do it because I can't
okay.
see
So I
it.
go to a desktop or iPad. No, I'm on
Oh well, you probably got to do it with the camera the way you got it.
okay. So the desktop.
All right.
Can you see me
Well,
right?
what I'm saying is, it's unless you got it right now, you're gonna have to show you. This is
That's
not
the
gonna
thing.
work.
I know. I don't have it. This is the
Like I said, it's so small.
939,
I cannot read it from that.
I
I was just
know.
wondering if you could share.
I just have I don't have like, this is all like my notes from what I've done. Um, I don't have like anything else like more fine print.
Let's
I
see.
wrote down like my rules. Like this came from it started with the product rule, with the simplifying radicals, but I'm getting ready to do my quiz and like literally the first solution, I'm stuck.
Well, can you? How about? Let's see if I give you a board to write on. Let's see. Okay, now let's see. You should still be a. Now see if you can write on that board. Take your
Uh,
mouse. You're gonna have to do it with a mouse, like I said, is
okay. Okay.
because, like I
All
said,
right.
is
So it's a problem set up like, oh, let me see. Yes. I don't know. Can you see me writing? Because I'm using my mouse to write it out,
I don't
Professor,
see
but it's
anything on
not.
the screen.
You see it, Nicole?
I don't see you writing anything on the screen.
let's see.
Because I'm pressing the mouse, but it's not like, okay, I see your pointer on there,
Let's
but
see. Is there something I gotta do to make
You're gonna
you?
type something, you might have to open up a text box first.
I have to open it,
Let's
Nicole.
see if see
See,
if you can draw on there.
I see your pointer, but if it seems like I may have to click or initiate something. Oh wait, no, that didn't work.
Like I said, otherwise just take a real close up picture of it so I can see it because I don't know how to make your picture.
I'm
You know.
still the hard part about this, Professor Cruz, was I'm still learning this MacBook. I'm
Yeah.
not pretty savvy with this one, but how would I do that? Like, how do I screenshot it?
That I don't know. I mean, because I don't know anything about Macs. You just got to take a picture of it, hold it real close.
Let me see if I can talk it out. Okay.
All right, listen.
All right. So we have to understand the meaning of M over N. Do you remember that one?
Okay, yes, M over N.
All right. And so the definition of, I'm reading out the rules. Definition of a M over N: if M and N are positive integers greater than 1 with M over N in lowest terms, then A M over N equals N as an index, and the square root of A to the M power.
Okay, that's this over here. Let's see if I still got that on this board.
Damn, how long ago was that?
I know,
So
Nicole,
2 weeks
like,
ago.
it had to be with the radicals because it was simplifying radicals. Like, I try to keep it in the order that I'm doing it on my MATLAB, but my problem was I didn't state what chapter I was doing. I was just,
Well, that's 7.3.
That's 7.3.
Sounds like. In other words, look.
So why are they giving me this on my quiz? Like, we're way in chapter 10.
I don't know what you're talking. You're gonna have to show me the problem number and all
right,
that. It might be in there by mistake.
Yeah, erase that. I'm gonna give you the problem. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I thought that was strange. I'm like, why are they giving me this? This is not.
Well, I mean, that's where we first introduced it. We may be using it in here. So,
Nicole, have you started chapter 10, the quiz?
No, I haven't.
You know what? That's because it is quiz 7. It's quiz 7. Although I actually do this, Professor Cruz. I do the MyMathLab because it helps me prepare for my tests. So I use it as my own little study guide.
Which problem is it?
That's the one for quiz. It says quiz 7, but I'm not
sure. But what problem was it?
9x to the 4th.
Well, I'm just trying to see if I could find the problem.
He's saying what number problem?
Oh, I'm sorry, number 1. It's number 1 on quiz 7. Why would we have quiz 7 way in chapter 10?
Because the quizzes aren't numbered by the chapter; they're just numbered by when we take our quizzes. So this would be the 7th quiz.
For no reason.
Yeah, this is. I mean, what I'm seeing for number 1 is this.
Because I'm showing the end date is 4/28.
This is what I'm seeing for number 1 over here on quiz 7. Is that it?
Let me see at the screen.
Oh, you're not able to see that. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to share. That's what I'm seeing on problem.
No.
Shoot me what you got then. Like I said, you know, you can share these after you complete it. Go ahead and just read to me. I'll see if I can write it. I can do it.
Okay. So it's 9x to the 4th.
9x to the 4th.
And 1/2 to the half power. 1/2 power.
Okay.
Like 9x to the 4th is in parentheses, and then it's 1/2. So the question says use radical notation to write the expression.
Okay, so that just means the square root of. See that right there? That means the root. The denominator means the root. If there's something up here, then that involves squaring it. So it's basically this.
You still on screen sharing? Because I need to see this. I'm 9x to the 4th. Doesn't this go back to M over N?
Yeah, see that right there? That's where that's from.
All right, I thought so. Okay, I just want to make sure I was pulling that from.
So this just means if the nth root of x,
right,
brought up to the nth power. Now this right here is just a 1 up there, so it doesn't really do anything. So it's just the square root of 9x to the 4th, and then you can simplify that as 3x squared. Square
Right.
root of
Okay.
9 is 3. Square root of x to the fourth is x squared.
Mm-hmm. So, Professor Cruz, that first problem you did, where did that come from?
That was
With the
the first problem on quiz 7.
from quiz 7?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that as much. I mean, is it
Well,
So
I'm saying
in the quizzes,
you
there's
gotta show me what you're looking at
one.
because on your computer, because I'm going by what you're telling me.
So on
all right, how can I
quizzes,
get,
you know how you
I'm
have
sorry,
three attempts, right?
Nicole, say that again.
You know when you're doing the quiz, you have like 3, 4, 5 attempts, right?
Oh, so they rearranged to salute their
Well, I
problem.
may well be what it is, yeah.
They have at least 3 problems for every question.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because you can also pool them. That's true.
Yeah, so when
So
you
Right.
they may be.
you don't get the same questions.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's why Professor Cruz, you're
You
seeing
know, they may
right.
be pooled. So yeah, usually it's kind of the same type of problem, but if they're pooled, they can put in, any
Put
one
in
of
any
3.
order.
Yeah. It's just like
Yeah.
the homework when you don't get the answer and they say similar question
Right.
and then they give
Yeah.
you the similar type of question.
Well, usually with that, it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the
Uh-huh.
same thing, just different numbers.
But that is a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
That is, oops.
Nicole, have you
Anyway,
started the quiz?
No, I haven't started
Have
any
you?
of the quizzes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I always do those like the day before the test.
So yeah, I do the practice before the test. Like I say the practice exam the day before.
Yeah.
So the quiz kind of helps
I
me
do
get
both those the day before. That way it's all fresh in my head.
all question right. I agree. Thank you for that, Professor Cruz, because I was like, literally like, where did I write this down?
well, that's 7.3. I mean 10.3.
10.3.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me, I guess, go back and refresh my memory. I'm getting befuddled here because I don't know.
And now you guys have a good night.
All right. You too, Nicole.
Yeah, it's right here. 10.2.
Point two. Yeah,
10.2.
that's why I went into that. And for some reason I
Well,
couldn't
that's
get
where
it
it's at, believe me.
because I look at the video lectures. Um, and I went into that and I'm just like, I know it has to be under rational exponents because that's the highlight of this whole chapter.
So if you just go to the textbook,
Mhm.
be the easiest way to show you.
Professor Cruz, if I can borrow you for just another moment longer,
Hmm?
I was doing my homework last night and I was working on the quadratic equations, the square root, using the square root property to solve the quadratic equation.
Uh-huh.
And so I came across this problem, and I'm sorry, I don't remember. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Problem number 8, I think it was. And it was x minus 3 squared, x minus 3 in parentheses.
All right, hold on. X minus 3 all squared.
Yes, equals 48.
Okay. That's what we were doing in 11 point, what we just finished earlier today.
Yeah, I noticed that. X minus 3,
So you take the square root of both sides.
right. And then you got 48. Okay, so when we get to um, the third step for me was x minus 3 equals um, add or subtract 4.
So this is 4
I mean,
times
I did the square root because there is no, the 48 is not a perfect square. So
16
I had to
times
try
3.
to come up with 16. Oh, all right. There it is. There it is. I was trying to figure out how my MATLAB got 4 and the square root of 3. And I was just like, where did that come from? So I forgot my step. I forgot to list the square root of 16 times 3 to make that a perfect square
Right,
root
yeah,
of
you gotta look for
48.
that largest perfect square. You can't leave
Yes. Yes.
a
Okay. I
perfect
see
square in
exactly
there.
what
It'll yell at you.
thank you. That was simple. I like it's gonna be this drawn out. All right, got it. Okay. And
So
so
like I
we
said,
have
yeah, the
zero.
rational number exponent. It just means X to the M over N, you know. That's
Thank you for that. So, Professor Cruz, we have till midnight on Wednesday to take out test 5, right?
I got to go back and look because yeah, and it'll be open. You can still get it to it for 29th, but it's going to put a penalty on it.
Yeah.
You really, and it's important now to start jumping on the, you know, getting ready for the final exam. So that's why I'm kind of rushing you along there.
Oh, no,
Anyway, there's a final exam review in there. So practice test up as soon as you can, and then go back and start going through that. The main thing, like I said, is you can do the later chapters. Probably most of the stuff at the beginning of the course is going to come back to you pretty easily, except you know you got the graphing stuff is separate.
Yeah,
I
kind of
guess you
glanced
could
at
say
that.
it's not cumulative. I guess you could say.
Yeah, I glanced at that one. That's a couple of these things have gotten a bit intense. But I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Now this is something I was noticing on my math lab. Oh, okay, it is 10.2. I'm sorry. I sent you 10.3. It's 10.2 is the rational exponent. Like I said, I'm getting brain dead here.
10.2. Okay.
And so, just if you look, let me do another share over here on this computer with my. See, this is the 10.2.
Gotcha.
See, this is where they explain that out.
Yeah. And look, I wrote it down. 8, 1 over n. So that
and then they do it here. This is where you have a numerator that's other than 1. You bring it out outside of the radical.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You can sometimes put it inside, but usually this part way makes it more useful. Okay?
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, Professor Cruz.
All right. Well, I'll see you Wednesday for review. Bring me any questions you got.
Will do. You have a great night, Professor
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Why is that sign in the